Hey friends, this is the Michigan Muellers. We're here about to start Daniel chapter 10. If you missed Daniel chapter 9, you can click on that right up there. But before we get started, we're going to say a quick prayer. God, we come to you thanking you for your word that you've given to us, that we can see how you would like us to live our lives, and we just ask that you help divine from your word today to us something that we can take away for ourselves personally. We ask that you also speak to the hearts of those that are watching this video, and we just ask that you help guide our lives. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Good job, baby. Okay, so before we get started, can you guys tell me what was in Daniel chapter 9?
Daniel was praying to God, and then Gabriel, a angel, came down and talked to him about the 70 years.
The 70 weeks, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. Easy enough. We won't go too deep on that. I'm sure they covered that pretty well in the last one. All right, so we're going to start in Daniel chapter 10. You guys ready? Okay. So, in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a message was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belshazzar. The message was true, but the appointed time was long, and he understood the message and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant food, no meat or wine came into my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. Now on the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river, that is, the Tigris, I lifted my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose waist was girded with gold of Uphaz. His body was like beryl, his face like the appearance of lightning, his eyes like torches of fire, his arms and feet like burnished bronze in color, and the sound of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me did not see the vision. But a great terror fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone when I saw this great vision, and no strength remained in me, for my vigor was turned to frailty in me, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the sound of his words, and while I heard the sound of his words, I was in a deep sleep on my face, with my face to the ground. Suddenly a hand touched me, which made me tremble on my knees and on the palms of my hands. And he said to me, O Daniel, man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for I have now been sent to you. While he was speaking this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, and behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia. Now, I have come to make you understand what will happen to your people in the latter days, for the vision refers to many days yet to come. When he had spoken such words to me, I turned my face toward the ground and became speechless. And suddenly, one, having the likeness of the sons of men, touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke, saying to him who stood before me, My Lord, because of the vision, my sorrows have overwhelmed me, and I have retained no strength. For how can this servant of my Lord talk with you, my Lord? As for me, no strength remains in me now, nor is any breath left in me. Then again, the one having the likeness of a man touched me and strengthened me, and he said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be to you. Be strong. Yes, be strong. So when he spoke to me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I've come to you? And now I must return to flight with the prince of Persia, and when I have gone forth, indeed the prince of Greece will come. But I will tell you what is noted in the scripture of truth. No one upholds me against these, except Michael, your prince. That is it.
Oh, perfect.
Surprise ending there. You're expecting to hear what he had to say, didn't you?
Mine is weird.
He continues.
Dude,
Yeah,
mine is like, it's
Yes.
right here,
that's cool.
and then me in the chapter 11.
Okay, so, what happened?
Well, Daniel was mourning for 3 weeks. And then it says, suddenly a hand touched me and set me shaking on my hands and knees, which was that like in fear.
Yes.
And then it talked about like, I'm assuming that what this angel told him.
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't get to hear what he told them. We're going to get to hear that in the next chapter. We got to hear the kind of the preface of that. Basically, what we heard is, as he's fasting and everything, someone comes and he's trembling and he's delivering a message, and he's saying, from the time you first started pleading to God in your prayers, we heard you, and we were sent out to get me. I was fighting against this, call him the Prince of Persia, right? The Kings of Persia, sorry. And then he withstood him for a while, and he got there, and basically the guy is so scared, Daniel is so scared of this person, this angel that came to him, that the whole time, the rest of this chapter is him just kind of building him up like, come on, it's okay, stand up. I want you to understand what I have to tell you, so you need to not be so afraid. Basically, that's what it was. Alright, so, did anything not make sense in there? I know it's kind of a
No,
sudden
but
stop.
I had a question. When it says he was mourning for 3 full weeks, is that actual weeks or is it the years ago?
No, that actual week, so 3 full weeks, 21 days. So yeah, for that many days, he went without eating, drinking, what did it say? No pleasant food, no meat or wine came into my mouth, nor do I anoint myself with oil, or anoint myself at all, until the 3 weeks were done. So for 21 days, he didn't eat, drink, nothing. He just fasted. So if it was weeks of years, that would be 21 years
Yeah.
that he went without food and drink. Yeah, I don't think he could do that one.
Yeah. I didn't think so either
Yeah.
because I was a little confused
Yeah,
there.
that's why he was on the ground. He was a corpse. Okay. Did anything else not make sense to you guys?
It says, in my book, it says, then Michael, one of the chief princes,
Mm-hmm.
came to me to help after I had been left there with the kings of Persia.
Mm-hmm.
Is Michael like another angel?
Yes. He's referenced here. I believe he's mentioned in other places. We call him like Michael the Archangel. He's like the equivalent of what Satan was. So basically, he's one of the chief of the angels. So basically, this angel was a messenger angel. He was sent down to tell Daniel a message, but the kings of Persia, which is kind of like the Satan and his angels that are the principalities around us, were fighting and stopping him from getting to Daniel. So Daniel started praying to God and fasting. God comes and sends an angel down, but the angel's stopped by Satan and his demons from getting to him, and so it was such a bad, there was such a big struggle that God sent Michael down, and Michael cleared the path and got the angel loose. He's one of the big boys. He's someone you don't want to mess with.
In my head, I'm saying,
Yeah. Okay. So how do you think you would handle it if an angel came to you? Just showed up? Do you think you'd be like him, or what do you think?
I'd probably go insane. My brain would not comprehend.
I mean, just this tall, powerful being just appears in front of you. I mean, if you hear what he said when those other guys saw him, they couldn't see him, but they trembled in so much fear that they ran for their lives, right?
Yeah. I'd probably be a lot worse than how Daniel, if you said that he was like face first on the ground, probably be like bad.
Did he like
Yeah.
faint?
I think he fell over like his knees just gave out. He was so scared. Just whoa. And plus, remember, he hasn't had anything to eat or drink for 3 weeks. He's gonna be a little weaker anyway.
Yeah.
So he would probably be.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just probably terrifying.
That's what I would do.
What are the chances he hallucinated it? You know, like not having eaten or drank for 3 weeks. I know.
But
Well, I mean,
no.
in fairness, in that kind of a heat without eating
Yeah.
and drinking, there's probably chances that people say that that's probably what actually happened
Right.
rather than that being what's true. But in that case, if you want to know if it's true, you'd have to see what he says later and verify that historically at this point, if any of that is true, and to know if it is true.
Can you find this story anywhere else in the Bible just to kind of cross-reference it?
Well, we'd have to see later.
Well, I'm saying
Chapter
for future.
We'll find out.
Is there further to kind of cross-reference it?
I'm sure that there's references to it. I mean, there's lots of things in there. I know they talk about, oh boy. I'm
Other
trying to
than good old
get ahead
Google.
of me. You know,
Other than good old Google, how would one find those answers in the future?
so that would be something you'd want to do with a study Bible or like a concordance. And we have videos coming out for that as well, but those would give you instances of where these words or where these kinds of situations were listed in other places in the Bible. If you're looking specifically for what actually the dream is, the interpretation, there's references later in the Bible. Other people later reference this. Paul, things like that, will reference back to Daniel. And I think there's references of this, similarities to this in Revelation, and places like maybe Thessalonians. But that's something that the San Diego Muellers get to address. We don't have to worry about that, so have fun, guys. But yeah, that's something that you can definitely look at later. But for the retelling of all of the things of his vision, that's the only place you're going to actually find a word for word, of course. Okay. Did you guys have any other questions about this? I know it was really like a weird short chapter. We're not used to that in this.
Short, that felt kind of long.
Well, it's a long
That's
description
funny.
of nothing happening.
True.
Okay. Do you have any questions, any other ones?
I could keep throwing my wrenches at you if you want, but
No, it's okay. It's
We
okay.
don't want to have the longest video.
Well, we don't want to go too in depth here, so all right. Well, if you guys have any questions, did you guys have any questions? If you did, go ahead and write them down in the comments section down below, and we can go ahead and look at those. If you are interested in doing a little simple Bible study like this, you're on your own home, some basic steps to a beginner's guide, like this level. We have a video for that, and you can click on that right over there. But otherwise, as always, a wholesome home makes a healthy heart. Bye!